Hey, what's up? It's Rashad. Antonio, OG friend of the fam. Upon further review podcast, of course, we are reviewing The Last of Us, episode number 4. Please hold to my hand. And if you early like us, we don't even know what the episode is the next day because it just says like episode 4. So
Yeah,
yeah. We haven't even talked about it at all. I just literally said a time. He was like, yeah.
yeah.
So, of course, follow him at 20 Franchise, us at Hanging with the Joneses on all the things. How's like the episode?
um, I think I was cool with it. It wasn't nothing super exciting or anything like that. If you want to compare it to the three previous episodes, probably I guess you could say it's the weakest, but it's not a bad thing because it's basically you can see it's leading up to something.
Yeah,
Is leading up to something big. So you're gonna have, and I wouldn't even call this a filler episode. This isn't a filler episode. This is, I guess, kind of like all right, we about to start a few episode arc here, and this is the
yeah,
start. And
yeah.
this is like one of the episodes that started off that's about to start off an arc that's about to happen.
I felt the same way. At
Yeah.
the beginning of the episode, I was like, they're actually okay. This is our first cliffhanger. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So, because I was like, oh man, because I saw the runtime, I was like, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
That's kind of lean. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
When I saw it, I was like, this went by pretty fast.
And then I
Okay.
was like, oh, yo, I was hoping it was like, just like, all the extra stuff at the end and talking. Like, nah, it was a legit 45 minutes. I was like, that.
Yeah.
But even as the episode started, I'm still in love with how they are being very intentional about everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So first off, they're being intentional about the mechanics of the world and they're being very realistic to a
Mm-hmm.
certain degree, even like the gas situation. We were
Yeah.
siphoning the gas, like, yo, this is basically just water at this point. So they got to keep refilling gas because
Yeah.
gas doesn't keep it breaks down. It's degradation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that I like that. I absolutely love looking at the world itself and just how ran over it looks and how
Yeah.
stuff was growing on things and just how like
It was it was very raw.
devastation. Yes,
Yeah.
it looked like post-apocalypse, not just like
Yeah.
it being like super extra. You know what I'm saying? Like I liked how the world itself looked too.
You know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say, for me personally, this is probably the best looking post apocalyptic show I've seen on TV or the big screen since possibly I Am Legend. That's just for me.
Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of like dour on this genre. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
like for like
Mhm.
the longest, because it's like, oh God, okay, again. So,
Here we go again, end of the world stuff again,
but
huh?
yeah, but like this has been really very intriguing, just seeing how these like factions of peoples just banding together in their little areas,
Mm-hmm.
this is basically just what it's been. Is first we've seen second episode has been the QZ people. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Third episode, it was just like two people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And now we see a group of people who basically took over their city.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Which leads us to like the meat of the episode. So, okay,
Mm-hmm.
first things first. Ellie is Ellie. Ellie's a psychopath. I just want to
Yeah.
put it out there right now, yo. Again,
Yeah.
we play no games, yo. I don't know about this person, the character, in the
Yeah.
game, but yo, she is a psychopath, and
Right.
and I think he knows that, but
Yeah.
by the end of the episode, he realized he needs that. You feel what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it just opens up with her like just pointing the gun and posing with the gun, like, yeah, she popping out the bullet, and she's doing very psychopathic type stuff, like pops the bullet out the shell, the bullet, and she's like looking at it like, yeah, like I know what this does right here, type stuff like that. So it's you were just watching, it's like, yo, this chick, she really wants to use this gun, and it is like, yo, she cannot wait. And I felt that at the beginning of this episode, I said, I think this could be the episode that she uses the gun because she cannot
Mm-hmm.
wait to use, what I'm saying, this gun
Trigger
and
finger
whatever.
itchy,
Yeah.
boy. Like she
Right.
was. All right. So that also, I love how they're establishing their relationship, even
Uh-huh.
something as simple as puns. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
how that developed over the course of the story. Like I really love that. Um, I also love the fact that she is likes to be the dick of a teenager. You know what I'm saying? Because even with
Uh-huh.
like they had like the gay porn, and she's like, I just want to see what this is all about. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, that
He's
was
like, put it
a.
up.
He said, "Put it up." She was like, "Why are the pages
He
sticking
just so
together?"
sticky.
Oh, duh. He was like, she's like, I'm just effing with you. I know. It flings it out.
Yeah, man. Like that dynamic is really good, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Also, the fact that just the threats of something keeps the intensity of this show on high every episode. Like when they went to the
Yes.
woods, it was like, yo, it's too far out for the infects it. However, it could be just people out this joint. We don't know. I was
Right.
like, oh my God, they can't even get a good night's sleep. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right. And and she like wakes up in the middle of the night and sees him just looking. You know what I'm saying? Like standing watch or whatever. So he he probably didn't even really get no sleep or whatever. He probably was like, hey, go to sleep, telling her go to sleep or whatever, and then waited for her to go to sleep to kind of get up and
Mm-hmm.
do something. If anything, I would say he probably got like what 10 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes of sleep before he got up and was like on lookout. And she saw, and she woke up in the night, saw that, was like, oh, okay, type thing or whatever. While she was sleeping extra hard and woke up that next morning, and my man was drinking, as our grandparents and parents are drinking that cowboy coffee, right?
He
That dirt
had that junk cooking in the kettle, boy.
in the kettle. That cow, no, how you like my coffee? Like I like my man, but like no sugar, no cream, or whatever.
You know, it's
She was,
funny too
uh-huh.
how Ellie mentioned that even though the apocalypse took all the people, there's still a Starbucks in the QZ. I was like,
Yeah, that was hilarious. I was like I had to actually rewind that part when she said that.
oh,
She
this
said,
is
so
what they
this is
sell
like
at
the
Starbucks?
Starbucks, and I was like, hold on, and I was like, okay, and it went through that stop for us. I said, hold on, how the hell does she know about Starbucks or whatever? So I had to rewind it back. I said, well, I guess they must have got Starbucks in the queue.
Mm-hmm. Capitalism still wins. You know what I'm saying?
So this is what we do know: Starbucks, bullets, and perks, fentanyl drugs that we still have in the apocalypse. Sorry,
Yeah,
continue,
yeah,
Rashad.
yeah. No, you're good. That's good. So they're on their way, and they're just driving along. We see
Mm-hmm.
the countryside. Also, they got from Boston to the Midwest like hella fast.
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
course, but I understand it's just TV mechanics. They got
yeah,
to get to the place. We don't need to see all that. But
yeah.
yeah, but when they again trying to go to Wyoming, and
Mm-hmm.
they're taking because Wyoming is like
Almost Pacific Northwest, but kind of
yeah,
close.
yeah,
It's,
but
it's
still, like
like
it's
it's right down the border.
between,
Yeah,
yeah. So for some odd reason, instead of taking the northern route, they're taking like the Midwest route,
yeah,
and they're going through. Right now, they're at like Kansas City.
yeah. That's I was like,
I was like Kansas City, like because I saw Des Moines on the sign. I was like,
yeah.
okay. He said, no, we're in
And you
Kansas
saw
City.
Wichita, what I'm saying, Wichita and
Yeah, so
stuff
I'm
like
guessing
that.
they're
Yeah,
in Kansas City, Kansas, and not
mm-hmm.
Missouri. But they're like almost beside each other, right? In
Yeah.
real life, yeah, I don't know. Geography. So anyway, they're in Kansas City, and the entryway into basically freeway
Uh
is
huh.
blocked. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Looks very. I'm not sure if it was intentionally blocked, but like we see old corpses and you know what I'm saying, and all
I
this stuff.
think it
Just
was.
yeah, it looked very
I think it
intentional.
was because when he got out the car, he looked around and he kind of got down to see it's like completely clear in
Yeah,
the
it's
tunnel.
clear on the other side.
Yeah.
So they like, man, yo, we're gonna have to double back up the exit right through the city.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not a good look for
That's
y'all.
never good. That's never a good thing.
Nah, yo. And it's
Never.
crazy. Like this next scene of them driving through the city, and he's like, yo, you gotta look at this map. She's like, man, it's my second day in a car, yo. Cool out.
Yeah, right,
I
right.
was like, yeah, that is true. And then the
Not
fact
gonna
that, like,
lie.
in my mind,
I
I'm
had a
like,
flashback.
yo,
I had a flashback of my childhood,
Childhood, yeah,
trying to read a map with my grandfather. Like, what are you doing, boy? I'm like, man, I'm 10 years
I'm
old, bro.
about to
Like, I'm trying to, 10 years old, man. I'm trying to see where we going. Like, I got lost.
This
There's too
is
much
so foreign to
lines
me.
going
Yeah,
all
yeah.
over the place.
Squiggly, where are we? Get smacked in the face for no reason. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'll do a better job next
No,
time. Good
no,
God.
maybe a better man.
Yeah. Tough enough. Either way, so they're going to the city and they're like super turned around. You know what I'm saying? Because it looks like Kansas City from the downtown area is based on like a grid. You know what I'm saying? It's like a bunch of left hand turns, right hand turns, it's all
Yeah.
parallel.
Yeah.
So they're getting turned around and they make a wrong turn
Yeah.
and they see a dude, you know what I'm saying? Dude with a gun shoots at the car. Another person throws a big rock
Before that
at
even
them.
happens, he was like, "Oh, help me, put your seatbelt on." He said, "Are we going to help him?" No, he floors that shit.
Lord, that John. He already knew what was up, yo. He said,
Right,
"Oh,
and
this
then
is."
somebody throws a cinder block off from the roof of what. Boom, drops a cinder block from the roof, and they start shooting the car, and then they put the strip spikes down, and
Yo, I was like, yo, that straight was a setup, yo.
yeah, straight set up, and they end up crashing inside of a building. And they get out, but it's like a little mini shootout. But before the shootout, the guys, let's just call them the scavengers or whatever, they're just shooting up the car to whatever, we're gonna get you or whatnot. And Joel sees that there's like a hole in a wall that leads to another room, and he's like, "Yo, Ellie, you can fit in there." He was like, "When I give you the cue, go and stay in there and just be quiet." So he gives her the cue to run, and she runs and she stays low. But I love how he was very fatherly to her by reassuring her, "You're not going to get hit. You're not you're not going to get hit. No bullets are going to hit you. You're gonna make it over there." Because he knew that she was scared, and
Oh yeah,
he reassured her. So he went into father mode, and it helped her. She got through, and then Joel is a surgeon, with that shotgun, because
bro.
the other guy was shooting, like, he shot a lot of rounds, didn't hit Joel at all, was hit the guard. Next thing you know, Joel just popped up, bow.
He hit him with that fast action rifle. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
right.
saying? Like, I was like, yo, it was
And the other
crazy.
dude was like, "You son of a."
Shot him too.
Yeah, right. Shot him too. And then Ellie's in the room, and she's thinking like everything is cooked, and she sees the guy like coming through, like he's making his way through, and she's looking, and Joe just pow shots the duck hunt, pops him, whatever, he's down. And the next thing you know, like, Joe's thinking everything's cool, opens up the door. It's another guy that comes in, and he gets Joel on the ground, and he's choking him with a gun, and Ellie sees it. Ellie pulls out her switchblade for her knife first.
She was like,
and then she looks at the knife and was like,
nah, we gotta
game time,
damage.
baby. And she gets out, and she just makes her way through, and she pulls the gun out, and she shot my man dead in the lower back. He was paralyzed, because if you heard him, he says, "I can't move my legs." He couldn't move his legs at all. And situations like that always find hilarious in movies, where somebody's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kill you, mother effer. I'm gonna get you, yeah, mother, I'm gonna kill you." I mean, bro, they in a situation, please don't hurt me. I wasn't gonna hurt you. Let's talk about this.
He said, "Hey, my name is so and so.
My name is so and so. My mother helped me." I'm saying? Like, but you just tried to kill dude. He pulled like a little butcher's kitchen knife out.
Say, "Hey man, you can have my knife, man.
It's a good knife.
It's a good knife."
And Ellie's looking at this dude, and then Joel is like, "Yo, give me the gun." Takes the gun from him. He tucks it up, and then he picks it. He says, "Go back in the room." And the next thing you know, you hear, I was like, "Is he gonna shoot him?" No, he ain't shooting him, because he didn't want to, draw no more attention. He hacked him up with that daggone knife or that. So, killed the guy or whatever. And then they found a way for Joel to get in the room, because the door was blocked, and they kind of regrouped to see, what was, their situation. And it was like, "Hey, we need to take higher ground." And she was like, "So what?" So we can see how way he's like, "Yeah, we got to try to get out of here, see what's really, good, and hiding." And then that's when we cut to the scene, because before they even fell into the trap, Ellie had noticed the QZ zone. She said, "Stop the car." And she looked and she saw the QZ zone, like the doors was
Yes.
open
Yeah, she
and it
said,
looked like it
"Where?" She
been.
said, "Where's the QZ?"
Yeah, right. It was like, where's the QZ? It was like, oh, no, right. That's when we get to. I don't even remember what the lady name was. Did they say her name in there at all? She seems like she's questioning. You see that
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You talking about Kathleen?
Kathleen. Yeah, there we go. Kathleen. Where you see
Yeah.
Kathleen seems like she's questioning, I guess, the person who was, I guess they were the head of the QZ zone, or
Or they were just like basically somebody who is down with them. So because this is what it
yeah,
sounds like. It sounds like they had people when the QZ came in
uh-huh,
was turning neighbor against neighbor. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And
yeah,
they were saying, hey, like they are here, they're there, and a whole that and a whole nine. And the crazy
yeah,
thing is this is like they're trying to figure out, she's trying to figure out what this dude Henry is. You know what I'm
right,
saying? And
uh-huh,
a whole episode, that's kind of she's been like very enamored with the idea of getting some sort of revenge. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, mm-hmm.
Because she's trying to essentially it's like she's trying to find somebody else too. Trying to find a
Yeah,
brother.
yeah, I think her brother or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, brother or something like that. So she's like gung ho. She is like
She's like the leader
tunnel
of the
vision.
group, which is like
Yeah,
really odd to me. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
I wouldn't expect, and it's funny. Okay.
Speak on it.
Um,
Speak on it.
so she's essentially like the angry white lady.
Mm-hmm.
And she is definitely in charge of everybody, and they like
Mm-hmm.
legit listening to her,
Yeah.
which is like I just like I find that very odd. But she proves her worth when they came back and they found everybody was dead. She automatic another thing too. This is
Yeah.
where like you can have the manipulation of power and also the power of belief. Since they believe in her, they believe what she says, and she
Yes.
automatically blames this on
Henry.
Henry. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And now they got these people thinking that, and then she believed it so much in her mind that she went and
Mm-hmm.
killed the doctor. Because the
Yeah.
doctor was sitting there like, yo, he was sitting prior to the scene, he was like, hey man, like I don't know. I didn't know any, I
Yeah.
don't know who this
He
person
said they
is.
said he was like, I was your doctor.
He said, I delivered you.
I delivered you. I was your doctor. What are we doing here? Or whatever. And so when they find the dead bodies and stuff, she just goes straight cold-blooded killer and just walks to the cell he's in.
Cold-blooded.
Cold blood. It just walks in there and just pops him, kills him right. I was like, oh,
I was like,
okay.
dang, yo, that's what we doing.
But you see
And
that she, like I said, she, like you said, she hyped him up, the crowd up, and like came up, and she had a concise
message.
message. And
And
what she said,
you know what's funnier?
uh-huh.
So like after she corralled the troops, did you know what one of the trucks said?
Mm-mm.
One of the trucks said was like said we the people. And the other one that had like the bulldozer in front of it said run. You know what I'm saying? That's like funny. But like the we the people, we already know what the we the people reference was,
Yeah,
and that's
you
really
got
what it is. Which
MAGA folks. How you got
yeah,
MAGA?
which was that's why I kind of felt like the vibe I felt. And even
Yeah.
we'll get to the end of it, it'll make sense.
Uh-huh.
So she's like knocking down doors and looking through residences apartments, and
Yeah.
they're like across the street basically like yo like I guess they're gonna basically come around sooner or later and
Yeah.
look at these old businesses too.
Yeah.
So
Because he said they said he was like they're gonna look into like apartments and homes and stuff first before they get to these businesses. He said, but we're gonna have to try to find a way out of here, what I'm saying, by that point.
yeah, because
Or
they
what
see they say yo we need to find like we need to find a way to get out the city. So
uh-huh.
if they saw the tallest building was like 4 blocks over, he
Uh-huh.
said as soon as everything calms down we gonna leave. In the meantime he was like yo I'm sorry that you had to basically shoot somebody, and he gets this whole thing about like you too young. Of course, he loses his
Yeah.
daughter at that same age too, and he
Yeah.
has like this very this like he's holding this grief that
Yeah.
the world is like
PTSD.
this, definitely
Yeah.
PTSD, that the world is like this, and that they have to go through this, and she's
Uh-huh.
like. I mean, like on some like it is what it is type stuff.
Yeah.
Like this is all she know.
Yeah.
And he
And
was
then
like,
she
it was
said, this ain't my first time.
Yes. Yes.
This ain't my first time doing that.
Psychopath. So,
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Think about it, Susan Antonio. Like the fact that she shot that man in the back to the
Yeah.
point where she knew she could paralyze that man.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm
And,
saying? Like that wasn't like no random shot. Like
right. Yeah. And the thing is, she said it so nonchalantly, like, this is my first time doing this. And on top of that, it, like you said, psychopath, it goes back to the end of the first episode
yeah, when she was gleeful about
when
that joint.
Joel was beating the hell out that officer. She was like, yeah, yeah, this is I'm talking. This where we
Yeah,
separate the men from the boys here, buddy. Like that. She was really excited. And you saw
super.
the glee in her face or whatever. Yeah. Ellie's a nut job.
Yeah. So they after the scavengers of the city, they
Yeah.
leave, they scurry out, and this ends up, getting to this building. It's nighttime. And they get into the building,
Before that happened, don't
what happened?
forget
I missed something. What happened?
with Kathleen, and I guess the guy that's her second
Oh,
in
my bad.
command.
My bad. My bad. Go ahead.
So
My bad.
they go into like this one building or whatever because they're looking for Henry or whoever else they're looking for, and they find that there's like I guess their food rations and stuff have been, what I'm saying, are low, and they go and they find in the attic or wherever they at empty cans, what I'm saying, food
Yeah.
cans and stuff. There's like
And like drawings too.
and drawings and stuff or whatever. It's like a black Superman.
Yeah, you noticed that, right? I was like,
Yeah,
yo,
yeah,
that is
like a black.
definitively black. Ain't nobody drawing no black people but black people, yo.
Right. So it was a black Superman, catch thing. And so she was like, blah, blah, blah. We got to find him and all this. And then they go like down and they go to another room.
He was like, yo, I gotta show you something.
He said, oh, yeah, by the way, I have to show you this. And they go in the room. It looks like the ground is like collapsing, caving, like almost like
implosion
or whatever. And they open the door and look, and she's like, oh, okay. But then that thing.
No. But even before that happened, did you notice how moist the room was?
Yes. I
said, I already know what's about to happen.
The room was very moist, and then you just saw, and you heard like a sound, and the thing jumped up. I said, I beg your pardon. What? I said, yo, that's like probably like a nerve, one of the main nerve centers of the hive mind or something. That thing just jumped up and moved. And then of course, him being the smart one, hey, yo, should we tell these people? He's like, yo, we need to tell our folks.
So we're gonna tell her about it. She was like,
this is secondary. This isn't important. Not right now.
Not right now.
Not right now. We need to find Henry for after we get this done. We can come back to this. Yo, here's my thing. F Henry. Get rid of this right here, ma'am. You know what I'm saying? Figure out what this situation is.
Yeah, we need to burn this thing down, yo.
Yeah, right. So that was like just a crazy moment, especially when you saw that floor just kind of jump. I said, absolutely not.
It's a daggone ground burped.
Right.
I was like, oh no, this is not. This is well, no pause of this.
What's that Monique meme?
Yeah, this too much. You know what I'm saying? So going back to them finding the building, breaking into the building, go up 43 flights of steps. You know what I'm saying? They trying to make it to the top. And the crazy part was they didn't make it to the top because Joel was like, yo, I'm tired, which is a callback from the second episode.
Yeah.
Them climbing in the building. Was like, yo, these knees ain't what they used to be. And Joel reveals he's like 56.
Yeah.
That man's 56 years. Yeah.
It's good.
Pedro. Yeah. Way to go. You know what I'm saying? But like he's done. And they get into a room, put some pills down, was like, yo, we gonna take a nap. Again, which like I thought about it as you was talking, which calls back to the earlier scene when he only got like 10 minutes of sleep.
Yeah.
So he went down and like they was back and forth and joking, and Ellie pops another pun. You know what I'm saying?
It made him laugh.
And he was like really like, oh man, like yo, this is stupid, yo. He was really weak. And then in that he tries to ask, he says, "Yo, what did you mean about that whole wasn't your first time thing?"
Right.
And then
And
she was
then
like, "Man,
she
I
she
don't want to talk about
she hit
that."
she hit Joel with a Joel. I don't want to talk about that right now. Or
It's like, all right.
whatever.
It's like, all
Cool.
right. So they go to sleep.
But
Um,
and then she wakes up with him breaking glass.
yeah,
Remember?
yeah.
And
Oh, yeah,
he's
yeah, 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 yeah,
he
yeah.
was
Before,
like
yeah.
breaking glass, and
He
he's
said just
like,
because you hear intruders come in, you know what I'm saying?
right.
She was
It's
like, "What are you doing?"
and then that's when she see. And the thing is with Ellie, granted, you and me, we both think she's a psychopath, but she's smart too, very smart.
I mean,
It,
she was in like the QZ Academy, you know what I'm saying?
true.
So
So she mentions to him like, "Hey, why is it like basically like something wrong with your ear? You deaf, man?" Type situation like that. Why do you sleep or this or that? Because she said, "I'm gonna put this glass down for whatever," and she was like, "You sure you're gonna be able to hear that?" That's
so
just
yeah, basically she said, I know you can't hear on your right side.
uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
if you notice, he sleeps on his right, so his left ear is up too.
Yeah. And she asked him straight up, she was like, "So, was
Like, how did
that
that happen? He got
how that
shot.
happened?" He got
He
shot.
said,
He was like, "Probably from shooting too much." Yeah, probably from shooting too much and stuff, whatever. Because if people that's never fired a gun or been around a gun that's been fired, them janks are really loud, are really, 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 really loud or whatever. So, I'm pretty sure he has some hearing damage from that. So then, they fall asleep and you could tell he was hurt, he was tired because he was knocked out. I mean,
yes,
he was knocked
yes.
out, and you just got Ellie like, "Joe, Joe, Joe," and then Joe wakes up and pops up, and he has two black kids got guns, on him, and then one little kid just looks at him and says, and it fades to black, and it's the end of the show.
I was like, oh, that's it. Y'all pissed me off, yo, because
Right? Yeah.
it was getting it like it was a good build up to that point,
Right.
and a lot of the like table dressing to get us there was like really done. Like again, I'm really liking how they are pacing the show, and also just how they're like building the world out, man. Like
Yeah.
it's been really good. Even how I said like we're getting to see different parts of the world through the
Mm-hmm.
eyes of different groups of people, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that makes it keeps it fresh like every episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
So
I really starting to see how like everybody loves this video game. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah.
this was very much a cinematic approach
Yeah.
to video game making. But
And it
yeah, man.
comes off to almost like how a lot of video games now are
Yeah, because I mean,
open
because
world
even
video
like
games.
especially this episode, like I could see
Yeah.
how like yo, okay, so we got to the city, we had an accident, we
Mm-hmm.
gotta kill the people, we gotta regroup, gotta
Mm-hmm.
figure out, I gotta go to the
Mm-hmm.
highest point, like the
Mm-hmm.
whole thing. Then there's of course the like the cinematics of like the group talking and you
Mm-hmm.
figuring out what's going on. Like yeah,
Yeah.
very, very, very,
Yeah.
very, very good at adaptation.
Yeah. And then of course you seeing that these scavengers or whatever are a threat, but come to realize they ain't the biggest threat that's there because
Nah, yo, because Clickers is right behind the
the
corner,
clickers,
yo.
the clickers or whatever, they sitting there belching the ground and stuff like that. So, it's this, like I said, what I it in the grant and if you want to compare it to the other episodes, maybe possibly the weakest, but still
But
you see
it was still
it's still
good.
a good episode. It's starting, like I said, I think
Yeah.
an arc of what we're going to get to or whatnot. And so that was episode 4. And if I'm not mistaken, it's only 9 episodes in the season.
Something like
Nine,
that, yo.
9 or 8 episodes. So we're probably going to see some more stuff picking up the where it is, man. So I can't wait to see where we go from here and to find out, more about this community, how they took over the QZ zone, and also like what is the deal with Henry. I'm wondering most likely if one of those kids were Henry. One of those black kids with Henry that saying that Kathleen was looking for and everything.
Yeah,
So
it has to be, or like
yeah,
somebody who's older than them. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I did see the trailer for next episode. You know what I'm
uh-huh,
saying?
yeah,
Which kind of explains a lot, and
uh-huh,
also explains a very much kill the black people vibes I was getting from this too. So, comment of the week. Oh yeah, man, great episode. Comment of the week,
Yeah.
yo. This is off of YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Some guy named James Sherlock 6912. That's anyway. And I quote, Terror bad episode. This is in regards to last episode. We got none of this in the game. It was told with the appropriate level of subtlety in the game, and it made it far more poignant. This is the whole, Nick and Bill storyline.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, yo, like that's the whole point of this, to highlight things that couldn't be highlighted because it's a video game. You know what I'm saying? Like I think a lot of people who play the game are upset that it's not like I even talked, like, went back and forth a little bit because I was just like really curious. I'm like, you thought this was going to be like a beat by beat adaptation? That doesn't make for a good show. It makes for, like, you just copy the game and y'all be out here guessing everything and it'd be real boring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess people, and this is this notion that I think people have a problem with not knowing something, even if they think they've already experienced it. Like, yo, like this isn't just for you and the gamers. This is for a wide audience on HBO. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be for everybody, not just, to be honest, maybe 10% of the people watching.
Yeah, and so people, and I understand people are big on source material and stuff like that, but I like perfect example, parallel example. Like I've seen Game of Thrones, the show, before I read the books. I'm doing the audiobooks now. I'm on book 3 right now.
Cool.
Yes, the books are really great. I mean, the books are really great. Some things are completely different that was in the show and the book, but it was done for television. Some things have to be done in a way for television because apparently, from what I saw, I looked up about people. Some people were upset about this episode, last week's episode. Other people was like, "Oh, it's cool." Who played the game was like, "It's cool." It elaborated a little bit, but it was a big change. Apparently, like Fred Frank, whatever, he like left Bill in the game.
Yeah,
he left Bill, and he actually committed suicide because he couldn't deal with Bill's paranoia and stuff no more. But I think this is just a way there was a way to just kind of lighten it up a little bit or whatnot. So it is what it is. People are going to complain, and video game fans and comic nerds, super duper comic nerds, are like some of the worst people on earth when it comes to making film and television adaptations and stuff. Instead of just enjoying it for what it is, you want it to be basically page by page, or what I'm saying,
it's
screen by screen, what it is.
And it's not going to be that.
And you can't do that. You can't you have to find a way to translate certain things into television.
Yeah, and hence the whole best screenplay adaptation. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's get an Oscar for that. There's a reason why that's a category. But yeah, that's it for this episode, man. Another great episode of The Last of Us. We'll be back next Monday with this. We'll be back Wednesday, Tony. If you didn't realize, the Bad Batch has 2 episodes, 7 and 8 drop Wednesday. So we'll be back to talk about episodes 5 through 8.
Right. And possibly another episode this week from what we talked about last week, possibly about getting someone.
Oh yeah. You
guys might get
might get some content this week. So
some content this week. So
yeah. Definitely let me know about that. You know what I'm saying? And and yeah, we'll be back Wednesday for sure.
Definitely. Okay.
Till next time.
We out. Peace.